Hello guys, welcome to another Clash Royale video, and today we'll be looking at this deck, the Giant Bowler Executioner along with Electro Wizard, Lightning, Log, Furnace and the Knight. Using this deck I was dominating in a tournament, absolutely dominating, crushing everyone. So it is a kinda heavy deck. It is a reminiscent of the Giant Bowler Lightning deck. So whenever you see a deck, if you see either Bowler or the Executioner in this deck, the deck with the version of the Bowler is strong against ground assaults, and the Executioner version is strong against air assault. So what I try to do is put both the Bowler and the Executioner in this deck, so that you can use Executioner when needed or the Bowler when needed. In the double elixir, if you are leading elixir, then you can place both. And Electro Wizard here. The main purpose of this Electro Wizard is to reset the Inferno, and sometimes against Lava Loon and ASLs like that, it is also quite helpful. You can replace the Electro Wizard with a Musketeer or with a Zap as well. You can replace Electro Wizard with a Zap, yes. Okay, if you replace Electro Wizard with the Zap, then you might be thinking, what would you replace your Log with if you don't have the Log? The answer is simple. You can replace Log with the arrows, Electro Wizard with the Zap, and if you do so, you might be facing many air troops, and Executioner would be your only the air assault. The Knight here is to counter the graveyard. You might be wondering, why Knight? Aren't the minions and the archers great for the graveyard? Well, not quite. These days, graveyard are run along with the poison, and poison crushes them. So you need Knight or the Valkyrie for the graveyard defense these days. Bowler can be good against defense against graveyard as well, but you might be already using Bowler or something like that. Having two defenses is quite important. So if you are replacing Electro Wizard with the Zap, then replace Knight with the minions. So that's all about the introduction. Just hop into some of the replays from the tournament. This last one was quite close, and this guy had copied my deck, but before that, let me show you some other battles. Let's look at this battle against Let Me Win. Okay, here we go. I have Knight, Executioner, Electro Wizard and Log in the starting hand. Knight is the cheapest troop here. So in this case, I start with the Knight, either at the back or in front of the King Tower, and wait to see what my opponent does. He puts his princess. I'm not too sure what to do. Maybe I might have to log that. Okay. Now at this point, it's important not to overcommit. So I put my bowler at the back. And this bowler can crush the witch. He's going quite aggressive on me. So I put Executioner. Look how Executioner and bowler slice everything down. As soon as I put Giant, he's already in trouble. Look at that. And I add Knight as well in the attack. And look, he already tells good game. Okay, it is too much to handle. Even Inferno Tower wouldn't have saved him. Now Furnace, it is really great against clearing out the swarm troops. It's good not to overreact here, because with the heavy decks, if you start overreacting to the chip counters, then you would fall behind in the elixir. So looking to reset, I would like to reset with the Bowler or the Executioner, some of the slow troops at the back. I went to the right side just hoping that he defends there, but he tries to be smart. He knows that I won't be attacking at the King Tower, so he goes to the other side, and he's gonna give up that tower. And I am down by 5 elixir on the left side of the map. And that's my Electro Wizard. Executioner to slice through the witch. I could put my Log as well, but I hold on for the Log, and instead put Knight and Giant instead. because my troops can slice through the woods really quick. Look at this overwhelming push here. I might be putting lightning to the woods. Yeah, I cast a lightning spell, and the giant, it can do nothing. And we also have the defense here, the furnace. The furnace can handle the minion horde, but the timing isn't quite right. That's why I had to put my executioner. And my opponent was dominating in the tournament as well, but his deck could do nothing against my deck. That's the power of this deck. So if you are facing the decks like Miner, Lumberjack, Minion Horde and things like that, and that's how you want to play. Let me show you another battle against same deck so that you get really comfortable. This is another opponent trying the same deck. Yeah, Giant, Princess, Minion Horde and things like that. Yeah, as well. In this case, I would like to start with the execution at the back and see if they have rocket or not. If they have rocket and they cast the rocket on your executioner, then you don't want to make the same move. I'm not sure what to do here, so I put log on the princess and I let my executioner go. This is when class furnace can help you. I'm gonna pause for a while. See, that was really deadly push and I had no good hand. But look, my executioner ended up doing a lot of damage on the right side. In the left side, he ignored my executioner and threw in an even stronger push by knowing that my air counter, the executioner, is out of rotation. So he put miner and minion horde. So what I did was Electro Wizard to counter the miner and furnace to counter the minion horde. Look at my placement of the furnace. I was forced to place there. And his log crosses my Electro Wizard and the furnace. At this point, if you are too confident, you might want to start up with a giant at the back or bowler at the back. Otherwise, the cheap troop like knight at the back makes sense. If your opponent places giant at the back, then you want to start with the bowler at the back. Knight is great against the lumberjack. The log might have been the worst, but I don't care. And there's nothing my opponent can do here. He doesn't want to send his miner. If he places the witch, then that would get crushed. So his minion herd is his best bet here. But it takes a lot of elixir to place, and my giant ends up doing a lot of damage before he has enough elixir for his minion horde. Just one wave of the furnace clears up the minion horde. And that's the important thing about the furnace, it keeps chipping away at your opponent's tower. If he starts with the giant at the back, then I'm again going to start with my bowler at the back. Let's see what he wants to do. Okay, if his princess there, that's a value log because you get to take away some of the health of the witch and princess has. And look at this, his push is really over, and he has nothing to do against mine. Yeah, he played a quite smart move by sacrificing his lumberjack in order to clear my giant with his minion horde, but this bowler and executioner though. At this point I know that he can do nothing against my left tower, and his left tower is dead, so I went for the right side. At this point it's over. In this kind of swarm decks, this deck absolutely dominates. Let me find another match. Let me show you a different deck here. This is example of the deck not to play against. Not to play against your deck. These decks, it uses Royal Giant, Sparky, and Inferno Dragon. Oh my goodness. These decks can do nothing against your deck, even if you have Musketeer version or some other version of this deck. So when facing a Royal Giant, if your opponent plays Royal Giant at the back, then you don't want to overcommit and defending that Royal Giant. Just put a Knight or the Electro Wizard, just only one troop, and then attack on the other side. I put my Giant there, and I was thinking of putting Executioner over the Electro Wizard, seeing on what it drops. Let me pause a moment here. I was planning to put my Executioner there, and just hoping that I would counter this Royal Giant with my Electro Wizard, but he places Inferno Dragon there. So in order to push the Inferno Dragon, I had to place my Electro Wizard there, and I don't want to be spending 5 lakhs Executioner against this Royal Giant. Otherwise, I would be giving it too much value, and Executioner isn't too great as well. So I would rather place a Knight. I threw a log there just to cycle to my Knight, a Knight to counter his Royal Giant. And there goes his tower. You can see how if you play correctly, you can absolutely dominate using this deck. This might be an overcommitment. And look here. That was a misplay on my part. Knowing he has Royal Giant, I shouldn't have placed my furnace too far up. And my opponent really immediately goes in and tries to snipe my furnace. Let's see if we can do much against my Executioner now. And he backs up his Royal Giant with his Sparky. And I try to snipe the Sparky with my Executioner, with my Electro Wizard from the side. Just note my positioning of the Electro Wizard there. Had I placed my Electro Wizard where my Executioner is, then it would have been targeting the Royal Giant with both of his hands, and the Sparky would have taken down my Executioner and Electro Wizard. So I had to place it my Electro Wizard from the other side. A small detail here and there. Okay, this is all but over. Once you get rolling, then your push is too overwhelming. And with this deck, you shouldn't be afraid in taking some damage. In the case of last match here, I wasn't afraid of taking damage from the Royal Giant. I didn't react to the Royal Giant unless I had Knight in my hand. I went all in on the other side, and then even if I had Executioner in my hand, I didn't place my Executioner to counter the Royal Giant. I cycled my log. I just literally wasted my log and then cycled back to the Knight to counter the Royal Giant. And his other tower was dead and my tower was really healthy. That's how you want to play against these kind of offensive decks. And let's look at a battle against this Golem deck. And Golem Poison can be hard counter for this deck, but by hard counter, not means you have the advantage here, but it's not as easy as other battles. Against other decks, you can play anything you want and you win. Against this deck, you need to be really careful. Let me pause a moment here. So my opponent takes the advantage of this. If you have Giant and the Golem, if you have the Giant in the same side, a good move is to place Golem on the same side, because Golem is tankier than Giant. His support troops will clear my Giant before his Golem. It is that what he thinks. As a Giant user, you might want to switch the lane. You don't want to put Giant in the same lane as the Golem. For most of the cases, but not against this deck. This deck works really well if you place giant in the same side as the golem. Let's see what he does. Okay. Golem wasn't a big deal here. The mini P.E.K.K.A here is the absolute counter to everything. That mini P.E.K.K.A ends up doing a ton of damage to me. At this point I was a little angry, but nonetheless I played quite well. Look, he's leading in elixir and both in damage. But at least I know what counters he has. Okay, most of the golem decks, they get stronger in the overtime. But this deck goes even stronger. That's a value poison there. Okay. But I'm defending with my bowler and the executioner, and they are poison proof. That was to save my executioner from the mini P.E.K.K.A. Okay, now I go for a counter attack, but his troops absolutely decimate my troops. Look at this. But very little does he know that the more golems he put behind, this guy is preparing for his own slow death. He keeps on putting golems and I keep on staggering my troops. Look at this one. He has to put golem in order to defend my troops. Look at this. It's kind of stalemate here, but I feel quite confident about this. I know that I can win this battle. Okay. He puts his golem there in order to defend. But his golem gets annihilated as soon as he plays. And this is where I start to shine. And there's nothing he can do at this point. So I had to be patient here. That's how you want to play against heavy decks like golems. Let's see if I can find a match against. And while I was playing this tournament, I had to go for lunch and leave tournament in B. So, okay, just the match against the graveyard. Looking at my starting hand, if you have furnace in your starting hand, you always want to play furnace. And you don't want to place furnace on the same side as the tombstone. You want to place it on the opposite side. Okay, this guy at the ball. Very likely tells me that he has a graveyard. Okay, bowlers are facing each other. I try to place my giant at an angle, but he becomes smart and counters me with the graveyard. If he casts a freeze spell there, I will put my log spell. And you might be saying that my opponent is in the lead here, but not against this deck. It's okay to take some damage. Knight to counter the authors. Seeing this, he places his graveyard there. I knew that he didn't have his freeze spell in his hand. Okay, I start my push by placing Giant at the very back. And he knows that he can't defend, so he has to go for a counter push. He goes for a counter push on the other side after a while, by just knowing that he can't defend against my pushes. In order to clean my attack, he has to use freeze spells in order to defend it, so he doesn't have freeze spell to support with his graveyard anymore. Knight is an absolute good counter against graveyard. He has 2 bowlers, but his bowlers are dead. And one more thing, this is where you want to place your furnace further against the graveyard users, bowler graveyard users, at the very back, not at the center. Okay, I cast a lightning spell. I don't want to defend against the graveyard push. A simple log spell, and it's quite interesting to see that both of my towers are at the same health. Okay, my opponent goes for another bowler graveyard push. And I know that he is really low on Elixir and he has a lot to defend. Okay, and this is over. That's how you want to play against bowler graveyard. And as you see in every single battle, it's important not to overcome it with this deck. So let me show you the deck itself again. This is the deck here. So replacement, for the Electro Wizard, you can replace it with the zap. Or in other words, you can replace it with the arrows. And you have lightning, zap and arrows, or lightning, log and zap. So if you don't have log, then that would be lightning, zap and arrows. And if you replace this with a zap, your executioner would be your only air defense. So you want to replace Knight with the Mega Minion or the Minion. Minion is a better choice because Minion can do great against graveyard. If your opponent plays graveyard poison, then you might want to hold on. You might want to save either the executioner or the bowler, absolutely for the graveyard. So if your opponent has a lot of ground defense and ground troops, then you want to use your bowler a lot. If your opponent has a lot of air troops, then you want to use your executioner a lot. Before double Elixir, you don't want to put both the bowler and executioner, unless there are specific cases, because you want to save up your lightning for the potential Inferno Tower your opponent has. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Peace out for now.